for Speed. I'm gonna put you in the seat and let you drive at 230 miles an hour.
I definitely treat rental cars a lot differently now.
Scott called me, actually. It couldn't have been much longer after Act of Valor. And he told me about the script, and he was super excited about it because he's a big car guy in a big way. He knows them really, really well, and he was just excited to be able to do that kind of a thing, going back to the classic car genre of the 70s and really get into all that.
He spoke so highly of the cars being just the heartbeat from a sonic standpoint, but really wanted the sounds of the cars to not only be authentic and believable, but he wanted to put the audience in the cars.
We mixed this in 7.1, which gave us a lot of opportunity to spread sound out and to get definition between elements like car bys and things that were moving from front to back to front, on the sides, swooping in and swooping by. So Greg was able to use the sound field really effectively that way.
When I feel or see 3 cars or 4 cars zip by, I want to hear 4 cars, not a blur of sound. So really wanted to have these peaks and these bys be articulated so that the definition of each and every by was felt. Because in order to separate sounds, we can either pan them apart from each other, or we can separate frequencies, high, mid, and low, so that you can hear an expansion of multiple sounds playing at the same time. And we do that spatially so that you really felt like you were in the car.
You see the bus, right?
What's that?
The bus! The bus! The bus!
Go 2 down.
Looks like a scene out of Speed down there. Hard left with 3 Keanu.
Oh, you mean that bus.
First off, being that he comes from stunts, is that he wanted everything real. And I love that. You know, he didn't want this to be a CG movie, a video game kind of movie look-wise.
Moving, baby!
We're doing some pretty intense stunt work all over Detroit.
The physics of all the racing is very real.
We left skid marks all over that beautiful town.
The title speaks to Need for Speed. You kind of want to feel like you're going fast. So what can you do, you know, whether it's wind and or buffeting sounds of whooshing by, because that gives you the sense of speed.
We captured maybe around 10 cars, and when we want to record a car, first of all, we need to find it. That means we go out, for example, Cars and Coffee in Irvine or Supercar Sunday in the Valley. Then we'll have our rig and a little iPhone camera, and then we'll just take samples of those cars and actually go back to the studio and listen to just a rev or maybe a pull-up to see how that actually sounds over speakers. Okay. One of those Saturdays when I got up early to find the cars, I was in the valley and I was talking to some guys, and in the distance I've heard like a really cool muffler sound, and by then I kind of could tell it might be a Mustang, and I saw it actually taking off that lot, and I ran after it and had them rev it as a test, and it was pretty obvious that this is a gnarly Mustang sound, and it ended up being our hero car. After we found a car and we decided to go and record a car, we take it out to the desert because it's quiet there, and we'll make the car like a drum set. You know, we have like 10 mics on it and try to get the specific features of that car, like a supercharger, air intake. Of course, the muffler, it's a big deal, so we have most likely like 3 mics or maybe even 4 mics of the muffler or on the side of the car to get a little bit the presence of the car and more bass of it. And then, of course, an interior mic. actually use a lot of dynamic mics that can handle the sound pressure, and Omnis are a little bit less wind sensitive, because that's the thing you have to avoid of all costs. As soon as the mic blows out, your signal is ruined.
Nathan did an unbelievable job with the score, and it was a kind of a unique experience to have the composer here basically all the entire time we were finaling.
Everything is always up for a conversation up until we're done. So even on the dub stage when we're mixing with Scott and Greg, we may try again to take out a piece of music or add something else back in. Either my music editor, Matt Shelton, who's awesome, will sort of try to retinker something. And it's all about just staying open and constantly trying to do what's best for the picture. We recorded the orchestra in 7.1. My mixer Mark Curry said, "Yeah, let's just record them in 7.1." And since we're at Sony anyway, so he has all of his close mics so that he can come in for some of my faster elements. And then we have the tree, and then we have 2 levels of surrounds in the room, and then there's almost no reverb needed, because by the time you get to those back surrounds, the hang time is pretty solid. Then George was awesome, because we're recording George and we're doing stereo from all of his effects racks into the system. Then we started miking cabinets in the live rooms at Village. And so when he hits a note, it's actually like 4 or 5 tracks coming in that we then work in surround and to listen. And everybody's been dialed in slightly different. So to hear that is unbelievable. It's just crazy. And then I actually, as an experiment, wrote the score in 5.1. So as I was playing it, I was already in 5.
I'm willing to give $6 million to anyone who puts a stop to him. We'll settle this behind the wheel.
I think the audience will be really happy and really excited about sitting in the room and watching this, because they will be enveloped by the sound.
It's one of the comments that was made during the preview screenings, is that many of which said, I really felt like I was a passenger in the car. And so the sound guys look at each other and go, that's what we're trying to do.
You are out of your mind. I love it.